Welcome. Thanks for joining us today on the Life of Leisure Show. I'm your host, Nick Leisure, alongside with my co-host, Anthony V.
Yes.
And the always late Black Rob 916.
Black and ugly as ever, however.
Along with our special talented producer, Matthew.
What up, yo?
We got a special guest in the house, the founder of Black Market Records, Cedric Singleton.
What's up? All right, I get an applause. All right.
Yeah.
Celebrate.
Shout out to our sponsor, Get a Clue Clothing at 1050 20th Street between J and K in downtown Sac.
Get a clue.
We start off usually with a little bit of news. What's going on with the news, Anthony?
Well, since we're kind of sticking with the music-related issue, what are your thoughts on this this beef between 6ix9ine and Chief Keef that ended in a gunshot fired in New York? In New York, yeah, I think it was 2 days ago. Or
I don't know anything about it, so I can't comment. Didn't hear about it.
Oh, well, what are your thoughts
So
on
what happened?
Well, apparently this rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine is made some comments towards Chief Keef, saying basically, you know, F you and the whole gang and yada yada. But it actually sparks too because Cuban Doll, I don't know if you heard about this. He was beat up by Tato, who is also the cousin of Chief Keef, and Chief Keef kind of came in and said, "Hey, stop it." And Tekashi just basically said, "F you," the whole crew, and I guess started this beef, and threats were made, and Chief Keef ended up in New York, and a gunshot was fired. Yeah, big news right now. Yeah,
Somebody got hit.
No, it was actually, if you look at it, they shot up into the building. It looked like a warning shot, but it was done like in the middle of Times Square at the W.
Wow.
It seems to me like every time Tekashi is in the news, it's always about some kind of beef with him or somebody. I think that's the only news he gets.
I do too, but it's selling records apparently though because of the whole that's him, with the rainbow hair. If you ever
He's trying to earn some street cred.
Yeah,
he's trying. I think 50 Cent was trying to back him up or something.
Yeah, calling him the king of New York. That's what he's trying to say, anyways.
Wow, I need a shot for that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take a shot.
Thanks for our sponsors, Patron.
I like these plastic, pink plastic
Yeah,
cups.
little tinks.
Gangster.
I'm more of a.
I'm a sipper.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I should. Yeah.
Said. So tell me, Ced,
Yes, sir.
who is Cedric? The businessman, the person. Who is Cedric?
Man, somebody trying to get it in, trying to be everywhere at the same time.
And you've
Trying
been
to do
doing
it.
it, man.
Yeah, man.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
You started Black Market back in 89?
Yeah, 89. About 29th year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was your first artist?
A guy named Homicide. Oak
I
Park
remember Homicide.
rapper. Homicide.
I remember Homicide.
Knocking
back
Off
then.
All Weak MCs. That was I had produced that album, so that was just like my first venture into the music business.
What made you want to get into music?
Love music. I was a DJ in college, high school. I grew up. All I could, I couldn't wait to get home to listen to music. I was an athlete also, but it was sports and music for me.
You play ball? You play basketball?
I played
You play-
basketball, track, and football.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Went to
you
school
had it
on
all.
scholarship.
Okay. And then you just decided you want to do music at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Were you born and raised in Sac? Or?
No, I was raised in Columbus, Ohio, and I came out here. I went to Sac State for basketball to play basketball.
Okay. And then right after that, you transitioned into music. And
Yes.
decided that's what you want to do. And Homicide was your first,
Yeah, the first record.
but not the
My
last.
That was 350 albums ago.
350 albums.
Yeah.
Damn. And then who was after that? Was it Brother Lynch? Was it
After first artist after Homicide was X-Rated.
okay?
Okay.
That's
And
right.
then it was X-Rated, and then went from X-Rated to Brother Lynch was after X-Rated. And
How
then-
was the X-rated thing? Because didn't he record the whole album from jail?
Yeah, he did that a few times. I mean, that guy that put out 12 albums, man. He's like, man, he wants to be in this for real. Sometimes I trip on guys that are free and can't record a record.
Yeah, can't even
They
get in
are
the studio.
free,
Huh?
can't get it done. This dude been in a maximum security prison.
Did he do
And
it over
they-
the phone or did he?
He did one over the phone. This is when he was in the county jail. He did Exorcist over the phone, and then every other album was from either San Quentin, Folsom.
Wow.
Is he going to get out? Or?
Yeah, he got parole. So he was granted parole this earlier, actually a couple of weeks ago. So he
Okay.
was granted parole. I haven't been able to talk to him for a while because he doesn't have a phone right now, which he doesn't want one. He doesn't want to get any trouble. So,
Yeah, smart.
so when he gets out,
Gonna do some more music.
Yeah, he's definitely excited to be coming home and to be able to work without the limitations of being in a cell.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now, is he still with Black Market?
Well, he said he's always Black Market, but
Okay.
he did his 5 albums, and then he started his own label, which was Madman Music, and so he's been doing music
Gotcha.
for his own label. But he said when he comes back, he said he's going to do some. We're going to work on a few projects together.
Okay. Now, you guys produced the Exorcism album? You
Yes,
said?
Exorcist.
Oh, Exorcism. Yeah, that was a great album.
Yeah, that's the biggest selling record too. The Exorcist.
How many units?
I think it's going through 300,000 or 400,000 units at this point.
Wow.
It's been it continues to sell. I think we just shipped the order of those things out today.
Nice.
Nice.
DC Ray.
Oh man, DC Ray.
I got a funny story about DC.
What you got?
So
What's the matter with your life?
Yeah. So I met DC Ray when I was 16 years old, right? I had just turned 16, and I went to this like job interview. You know how they sucker you into these big old marketing things. I showed up, and it was all these people in this big old room, and they were like, "Oh, you can make all this money." It was a multi-level marketing thing, you know. And DC Ray was there, and so it ended up being one of those things where we go out and you sell perfumes and colognes out of the box type of thing. I was a teenager, 16. DC was there. That was the first time I met him. We became really close. We had this idea that if you had sold so many boxes, you could get your own office, and then you'd have everybody else underneath you. So I was like, what's the quickest way that we can sell boxes? So me and DC decided to get a whole bunch of boxes, load them up in my car. We drove out to like Winnemucca and hit up all like the bunny ranches and all the like prostitution houses, and we sold out all the perfumes to all the prostitutes out there. Right? And came back
smelling good.
Yeah, it was gone. It was gone. We were like just hitting one after another, and we just walked in. We were just like, "Hey, we got perfume. What do you wear? What do you wear?" You know what I mean? Boom. We sold them all. We got our little office and stuff. But me and DC used to rock for a while, man. I used to do a lot of shows with him, kick it with him. Lost touch with him after a while, but
yeah, I had a Mad Pad at one point. Early in my career, I had everybody living at my house. Man, sometimes I come home and I be people sitting on my sofa. I'm like, who the hell is this? And then, at that house, man, it was SIBO, it was Mike Mosley, most of your artists that came to prominence in the late '90s. They were all at that house at one point or another. DC Ray had a room there.
Nice. You know where he's at now?
No, I haven't talked to DC Ray. I know he was from the Washington D.C. area, so I would not think that he was in Sacramento, and I haven't run into him or communicating. So I would think that he's probably in the D.C. area or somewhere else. He's around.
He's still around. Yeah. I seen him like maybe about 10 years ago, and then he had a baby with a girl that I knew and stuff. And so I was like, I haven't seen him since. So let's talk about what else is going on with Black Market
right now, man. Do we have enough time? We got 30 minutes.
We got time. We can go over more history if you want. I got all kinds of questions for you, man. All kinds of history stuff.
We're gonna have to have him come back.
What was the whole beef with the game and Black Market name?
That was Dr. Dre.
Was it Dre?
Yeah, it was. Game had a beef with JT the Bigger Figure on Black Wall Street. So that was what that beef was about. Okay. JT was the one who came up with Black Wall Street first, and then Game kind of just muscled him out of the name.
Oh, okay, okay.
Beef with Dre?
Yeah.
No, it was Dre. Dre was trying to purchase the name Black Market Records when he left. When he had left Death Row, so he had made logos and started telling people that his new label was Black Market Records. And somebody tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Somebody already got that, bro."
So that just ended that at that
so
point.
He had offered me some little bit of money for it, but I told him no.
Okay. Well, Trey got a lot of money right now.
Yeah, billions.
Okay, where are we at with Black Markets right now? Because I see you all over the world, man. You're in Cuba. you're like doing stuff in Africa. You're all over the place right now, right?
Right. We have just exciting news today. My artist in Kenya was nominated for a Groove Award, which is equivalent to a Grammy Award, and he's in Nairobi, Kenya. His name is Bruce Newton, and so that's exciting news here.
Nice.
We have the #1 record in Uganda, a song by Daddy Andre and Lydia Jasmine. It is starting to really buzz all over the continent of Africa, but they're from Uganda, Kampala, Uganda. The song has been #1 on every radio station, every video show, and it's starting to leak out to the surrounding countries. Had the hottest artist in Cuba right now. His name is El Camel. He's got a lot of stuff going on. We got artists in Jamaica.
So how do you do this? Are you just going out there and you're just setting up studios and you're like signing people to the label? And
yeah, I have signed. I have like 12 Cuban artists. I have maybe 13 artists in Africa in different places, and so I'm working with some local producers and stuff. So it's how we keep a good handle on everything that's going on.
And you got the Black Market Latin now, right?
Right. That's in for all the Spanish stuff, the Cuba and the Dominican Republic.
And last time I met with you, you were showing me some videos that were like hitting some serious numbers, man.
Oh yes, I got a guy named El Camel. It's crazy. This guy, I signed him a year ago, and in that year's time, he's given me 6 albums. But maybe 3 or 4 months ago, he sent me a videotape of one of his shows, and I fell out my chair. It was like 1,500 people at his show, and they were all singing the words to his songs.
Wow. So are you going out there and you're just putting up studios for them to stay in and just 24/7 make music?
Yeah, Cuba, we have like 4. I work with a couple producers, and so we have like 4 different studios in Cuba. So we're churning out so much music. It's incredible the rate of music that these artists are churning out music. I mean, they're workaholics. They live, sleep, eat in those studios.
They probably don't got much else to do out there.
That's right. And, there's not much opportunity in a place that's repressive as Cuba is.
So you're giving them that outlet.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's dope, man. That's really dope. Okay. How's your team right now? You got a really big team? You got a small team?
It's a growing team. Locally, our team is pretty small, but I have an office in Havana, Cuba, and we have 15 people working there. We have an office in Nairobi, Kenya. We're just getting off the ground now. So within the next month or so, we'll have a small team there also for East Africa.
And you're doing videos and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
right?
I just I enjoy going to some of these places to be able to shoot videos. Sometimes I'm just bringing the equipment, and I'm giving young directors opportunities to direct some videos. But I enjoy the whole process.
I see some nice stuff, man.
Thank you.
Some really nice stuff. Definitely.
So you're working with some local guys too.
Yes.
T Strong with the Rap Shack.
T Strong, that's my guy.
Yeah,
that's my guy. I was trying to take him to Cuba with me, so he's like, I'm gonna have to wait till next trip. I'm thinking we're gonna do Jamaica, and then we'll probably do Cuba, because I would like to take him with me to help me get some of these videos done.
Yeah.
A lot of untapped markets over there in the country.
That's incredible. It's the music market in those countries is like Sacramento was in the 90s. There's not a lot of organizations. So
how about the gospel?
The gospel stuff, I have actually Bruce Newton is a gospel artist. He's the guy that just got nominated for the Groove Award in Kenya. But I have a label also called Black Market Blue, and I signed Kevin Archie and Yardley Griffin Jr. to that label, and so that's what we have done in gospel. Yardley Griffin was charted on Billboard #9 on the Billboard gospel charts. So.
Is there anything that you don't do in music?
Man,
like, you got the gospel,
I love
the
it
Latin
all.
market? Is there going to be a black market country pretty soon?
If I could find somebody,
Man, I'm sure you could find some people,
Yeah,
it seems like you're doing everything, man. So what else you got going on? Like, you got some film stuff going on?
I got some stuff I'm trying to get off the ground with this guy named Nick Leisure. It's
call him out.
He has a project that he brought to the table in Ethiopia. Maybe you tell us a little bit about it.
Man, this show is about you, but we'll definitely get on that topic. We are definitely going to go to Ethiopia and shoot
man,
that.
I'm excited about it. I have, we haven't talked. I've been traveling a lot, but that has been on my head every day. And I've been talking to my guys in Uganda about locations and the whole process of how we can get this thing done. So I'm excited to be able to get on the road and get some work done with you.
Mm-hmm. Me too, man.
Exciting.
I'm excited to work with you too, definitely. We need to connect him with Coach Cedric from the last show too, because he's been doing stuff in
Congo.
Uganda
In
and
the
Congo.
Congo?
Yeah, in the Congo.
Yeah, he's like Steph Curry's adopted brother, and you know they're a strong team, and they brought out 30,000 shoes last year out there, and this year they're trying to bring like close to 100,000.
Man, it's nothing like going to places like that and where you really see a different side of life, and you'll come back to the United States with a great appreciation for the opportunities that we have here. I mean, it's life altering. My first trip to Africa changed my entire perspective.
Man, when was your first trip to
That was
Africa?
2007, I think it was. I went there to run a marathon. I went to South Africa.
A marathon?
Yeah.
You ran a marathon in South
Half
Africa.
a marathon.
With some
13.
Africans?
Man,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I wouldn't even attempt to run against them.
I was just trying to finish. My goal was not to compete, but to finish without stopping. And,
Wow.
but it was, during my time there in South Africa, I saw some of the slums that were there in Cape Town. There's places called Kailicha, Langa, Crossroads, some of the legendary slums in Africa, and it altered my perspective.
Mm-hmm. It seems like every time I look at your social now, you're somewhere in the world doing something with people, giving back.
Yeah, I try. I said this year has been so much of the philanthropy, but next year I'm gonna get back to it. It's been all business this year, because you got to earn that money in order to give it away. So I'm really trying to build that foundation that I don't just work for myself. It's not a selfish endeavor for me. It's like music changes people. It changes lives. It gives people opportunities. And one of the greatest rewards about being in this business and being in this position that I am is that the effect that it has had on lives. It has altered the direction of the lives of many people, artists, fans, and so music is powerful. And I thank God every day that I am able to do the type of things that we are able to do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And you're definitely doing a good job at it, man, from what I'm seeing. What's your favorite artist right now?
Oh, you can't get me to better have people want to fight me.
Okay, let's say like who's your favorite artist that you're working with, and who's your favorite artist, like just say in the business right now?
In the business right now, I love what Kendrick Lamar does. I love what he's doing creatively. And my artists, I would just have to say, man, I'm excited about Bruce Newton. I'm excited about Daddy Andre. I'm excited about El Camo. Mozart, Navesh, Gemini, Karasi. I have so many. Nani Blanco. The list goes on and on and on.
Man, I'm still waiting for my phone to ring for some of these music videos.
Okay.
I ain't seen no calls from Cedric yet, saying I need some music videos.
I'm gonna call you then. we gonna get this in. We gonna get it in, but we gonna have to travel.
Okay, it's all good. Let's go, man. Let's go. Definitely. All right. So, how's your golf game doing, man? Because last time I seen you, I think you messed up your thumb or something. Yeah,
but I was hurt for a year.
For a year.
What happened? I was hurt for a year.
We got to get on the course, man.
I know you and Hayon is always out there on that course.
We try to. We're trying to get you out there,
I know, but my time is so short, man. I'm saying hopefully sometime. We're gonna do the Alan Warren tournament. You should come play in that.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be. I think it's in August.
Okay. Nice. Nice. What else we got going on, Anthony?
Well, we have there's a few things, but I wanted to ask you the transition into film, though. How did that come about from records to film?
Well, my transition into film was probably a little weird because I was looking at films as a way to promote music.
Sure.
So the first film that we shot, which was Greedy, was a way for me to promote artists, and so we had 4 different artists in that film, and so that was the original purpose of it. And then it just got, making film is I love movies, I love the whole process of it. So my priorities pretty much changed. So I'm just really into trying to get quality films done at this point.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, what are your thoughts now on the state of hip hop today? like in terms of like what's popular now opposed to what was popular in the 90s, early 2000s?
I think that, I don't want to get old in this business. And I think sometimes when you begin to hate on the current generation, that's a sign of age. And so I don't want to be that guy. So I keep an open mind.
And new
now,
rap.
I did a record with Chief Keef. And, me doing that record with Chief Keef, me just putting that record together, I gained an appreciation for that style of rap. So I'm not that guy that's going to say, what we were doing in the 90s is so much better than what we're doing now. I just don't agree with that. I think music evolves. Okay. And you have guys that are doing different styles of music. You have your Kendrick Lamars, you have your Childish Gambinos, you have so many different styles of music. So there's something for everybody when it comes to music. Sure. So sometimes the music that young people tend to gravitate toward may not be to the liking of people from my generation, but I appreciate it all.
What do you say about the people that say there's like no lyrical content though anymore in some of these
depends
artists?
on who you listen to. Listen to somebody who got lyrical content.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I think like, Kendrick is definitely bringing it, but there's people like they say, Migos, things like that are just have hooks.
Yeah, hooks and beats. But, I mean, you can go back into the 90s. There was those songs that had just beats and not the lyrics didn't really make much sense. I think about DJ, please pick up the phone. I'll border request. Like, what is that talking about? So everything from the 90s was not a legendary lyrical song. But I just disagree with that common theme.
Did you ever want to be an artist?
Never. At one point, I rapped on a couple songs, and I thought about it for a weekend. I thought about 2 days. No, I don't have that kind of love for writing and creating. I just don't have that.
You just wanted to focus on the management,
on the promotion, trying to turn nothing into something is more, where I'd like to be.
Okay, seems like you're doing a lot of that. What made you stay in Sacramento?
Love Sacramento. I have my family's here now. I was the first person from my family to come to Sacramento. Then I had some of the guys I grew up with. They moved here. My mother moved here. My grandma moved here. My uncles, my brothers, my sisters. Everybody followed me. So now more of my family is in Sacramento than anywhere.
What is it about the city though? Sacramento.
I think Sacramento is a good family orientated town, that there's not so much going on that it wasn't a distraction for me. I love Sacramento. I love where it's local. I love California. I grew up in Ohio, and in the wintertime was scared the shit out of you. So you wouldn't really want to be there the winter time. So I've been in California all this time. The weather, I love California.
Okay. I got one more question here about the music business here. I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts on how the music business has changed from, the CD to downloads now? Like,
from tape.
Have you seen a big
record
it's
and
not
tape?
Even downloads anymore. I mean, the music business is constantly evolving. It's not even download. Downloads is not really the great revenue earner in the music business now. It's more streaming. So it's gone from physical product to downloads. Now it's more of a streaming platform where people are paying for the rights to listen to your music and not own it. You have a different industry here in the United States as opposed to what happens in Africa. It's a different industry here in the United States as opposed to what happens in other countries like Cuba, for example. Yeah. So it's all, I think what it has done ultimately is leveled the playing field for independent labels, because the reach that I have now, I can reach the planet now without having to go through a major label. I mean, it's leveled the playing field. You have to know what you're doing on that level playing field, but I think that's what it has done.
Okay, that makes sense.
Internet. Where are the artists making their money now? Is it through the streaming? Is it through the shows, touring?
I think touring is the greatest revenue earner for artists at this time. But anytime that you have there are different categories of artists. You have those artists that are highly successful. Then you have mid-level artists, and then you have artists that are just beginning. So an artist that is just beginning will probably not have access to as many shows. That mid-level artist, touring is definitely the greatest revenue earner for those artists. Then you have your big artists, and they will earn money from all avenues, from touring, from downloads, from streaming, actual physical sales. I mean, there's merchandising. There's so much to do. There's so many ways to earn money in the music business now.
And so when you find an artist, like let's say today, tomorrow, you find an artist that you think is just dope, and you decide you're going to sign on the black market record, what process do you have to go to get them to that point where they're touring?
Well, I think that right now the formula for this business is what kind of like what Mozzy has done in this business. He has been in your face from the minute he got the opportunity. From the minute he got the microphone, he has been repetitively in your face with something new, something that will keep your attention. Because if people are not paying attention to you, they're paying attention to somebody else. So it's like that formula is the same formula that my artist in Cuba has done. He's done 6 albums and he's about to drop his 7th album. So he's constantly in the market. He's giving his fans something new to look forward to on a constant basis. So I think that's the formula. You gotta be talented too. You gotta have something that people want to hear, something that is different, something that is something that is basically good.
Okay. So about Mozzy, I saw online, like, was he signed to you at one point, or was?
I did a 1 record deal with Mozzy. He had just got out of jail, and so we did a record with him, and that record was Yellow Tape Activity, and but from that point on, he hasn't looked back. I mean, that guy.
So
I'm
he's
proud.
doing his own thing now.
He's got his Mozzy records. He's signing artists. He's doing everything that it is that he wants to, that he can do in the music business. He had a song on. The Black Panther soundtrack. I think that song itself will earn him millions. That guy's a millionaire.
Yeah.
Right? He's a bona fide millionaire at this point. And go from somebody who had nothing 3 years ago to being a hardworking, talented, intelligent businessman. I mean, I don't think he can be celebrated enough, because if Mozzy can do it, it sets the example that so many other people can do it.
I like his music, man. I bought his albums. I'm not even gonna lie, and I don't buy a lot of albums anymore.
Mozzy's
so
dope.
Definitely support him and bump his stuff. How do you feel about the whole beef between Mozzy and Sibo and all that stuff?
I thought it originally was something that Sibo was doing out of, for marketing reasons, and so at first I initially didn't take it very serious, because I've done records with Sibo. Was he trying
to release something?
He was about to release a record, and so I looked at it from a business standpoint. But I mean, I got a call from X-Rated. I started getting calls from people that said, we got to stop this. We got to stop this thing from blowing up into something else. And, and at the time, I wasn't in the country, so X-Rated is calling me from jail said we got to do something, man. I'm going to try to talk to Bo and say, you talk to Mozzy, guys over there, and they see if we can put an end to this thing. So
did you end up calming the situation down?
No, I think I did what I could, and Rated was doing what he could. At first I didn't really think very much of it, because at the time Sibo was actually living in Texas. But then I see that he's doing a video here in Sacramento, which went really bad.
Yeah. Now, you think that situation was a little blowing up a little further because Lavish D just got out and he was at that same function?
No, I don't think Lavish had anything to do with it at that time. I mean, these guys are really loyal to their to what they believe in. A lot of times what they believe in is their neighborhood. So if you are going to disrespect the guy who is putting our neighborhood on, then it's like you're disrespecting all of us.
Sure.
So I think that's the danger. It's not so much that anything that might come from Mozzy, because I think Mozzy is a professional, but you have people who are around the situation who is more where the problem tends to come from.
Sure.
Okay. So what do we got to look forward to now with Black Market? I know you got the Latin market stuff going on. That's going crazy. Yeah. Right?
Yes.
And you're going back there tonight?
Yeah, I leave tonight at 11. I have a Black Market Live concert in Havana, Cuba, and we're expecting 3,000 people there.
Wow.
And that should be really, really fun, man. Y'all, if you haven't gone to see one of the Cuban concerts, man,
is it?
Oh, man, you're not living right. You're not living right. You're just not.
I got to go out there with you, man. Run around Havana and Cuba.
Yes.
Check out the artists for sure. Definitely. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for these Latin market, Black market artists.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Definitely. All right, we got to wrap it up. My producer Matthew